And today, we're going to look at our Action Bible. And we're going to follow along the story. So if you have an Action Bible at home, you can follow along by turning to page 552. Yeah, that's where we're going to be today. Now, before we get into the story, we have to know a couple things. One, I can't make my fingers point. But one, Jesus had just called a couple of his disciples to follow him. So there's only a couple of them now. They're not all 12 there yet, but there's some of them with him. This is the story of Jesus' first miracle. Ooh. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Now, in Cana, Jesus was attending a wedding. It was a big feast. His mother and disciples were there too. For days the celebration would be loud and joyous. Their weddings would go on for weeks. It was crazy. I lost my hand thing. But then they ran out of drink. Before the guests can notice, Mary turns to her son to fix the problem. And before Jesus can say no, Mary tells servants to do exactly what Jesus says. All right, do what he says, okay? So Jesus reluctantly says to the servants, okay, take these jars and fill them with water. But that's not what they wanted. They didn't want water. They wanted wine, they thought. Now, what was interesting about these pots was that these pots were not just the normal kind of pots you find in your cabinet. No, these pots usually sat right outside the wedding. And what they would do with the pots, you ready? This is gross. They would wash their hands in this water. It was gross, and then they would just dip their hands in the water and wash. And that's the water that Jesus told them to use. He said, all right, take that water and pour it in a pot. Gross. Should we drink that? No, I don't think so. But Jesus knew what he was doing. Then Jesus told the servants to pour some of the water and take it to the guy who was in charge to taste it. So they said, okay. And they poured the water into a cup. And then they took it to the guy in charge. And the guy took a cup and went, what do you think he did? He said, this is terrific! This is great! This is the best one of the whole party! They did this party right, he said. Most places will serve the good wine first. And then, once everyone can't taste it anymore, then they would give the bad wine. But nope, not this one. Which means Jesus' wine that he made was the best wine ever. It was so good. He turned gross, dirty water and turned it into great drink. And this miracle was the first sign of Jesus' power, and his new disciples eagerly put their faith in him. When the wedding was over, they go with Jesus to Jerusalem for the Passover feast. So they went from one feast to another feast. They were eating good, yeah. But we're actually going to stop with our story right here because that's the story of the first miracle. And I think this shows a little bit about who Jesus was. Yeah, he didn't really even want to do the miracle, but his mom asked him to, and so he did because he loved his mommy. Do you guys love your mommies and daddies? Maybe you don't have a mommy and daddy. Maybe you're living with your grandparents or something. But the people who take care of us, we should listen to them. That's what Jesus did. He followed his mommy's instructions, even if he didn't really want to. Also, when Jesus did do it, what Jesus did was the best. Jesus always does the best, doesn't he? Yeah, he's always the best. He always is listening and is doing stuff for us and taking care of us, and it's always the best. Even when we don't think it is, Jesus is always doing what's best. Just like the wine. Yeah. So, even though it's a short story today, we can learn a lot from it about who Jesus is and how much he cares for people. So, we're going to stop with our story today. Hopefully you can follow us, and me and my other monster and puppet friends, we're going to tell stories from the Action Bible each week. So make sure you tune in so we can read our Action Bible and learn more together. Bye!